lot about subtraction and different kinds of subtraction strategies. Yes, Jake, you have a question?
When is the how big is it gonna come?
I don't know. I sent them an email and asked for it to come, so we'll see. Okay. They haven't responded yet, but I can't check it right now. So today is going to be one of those days that we learn a strategy for subtraction. And just like when we were learning all different ways to add, I said you can pick one way that works for you. It doesn't matter to me whatever way works for you. As long as you can add it and get to the answer you need to get to, that's all that matters to me. So this is the same thing for subtraction. We're going to learn all different kinds of ways that we can subtract. Whatever way works for you is fine by me, as long as you have a way that works that gets you to the answer that you need to get to. So today we're going to use adding to help us subtract. Because believe it or not, adding is just like subtracting, only in reverse, just backwards, okay? So that's today's lesson, is using subtraction from addition. Now before we get started with that though, we're going to warm our brains up here with some bell ringers. So here we go. Here's our first bell ringer. Ding, 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 ding. All right. It says Samantha's family is at the library. Samantha checks out 7 books. Her little sister checks out 3 books. How many books do they check out altogether? Give you a second to think about that. Samantha's family is at the library. Samantha checks out 7 books. Her little sister checks out 3 books. How many books do they check out all together? All right, let's see if this person's in here. Let's see if Zayden, would you like to tell me how many books do you think they check out all together?
10.
10? How did you get to the answer 10?
Because 7, you have 7 fingers, and then you just add 3, and it makes 10.
So you were saying that you started with the 7, and you added 3 more to get 10. What made you think to add 3 more?
Because the answer said to add 3 more, and I added 3 more, and then I got to 10.
Did it tell you to add 3 more? No, it didn't tell you to add 3 more, but there were some clues in here to give you an idea to add. Can you tell me why you thought in your brain, oh, I need to add these numbers together?
Because whenever you put them together, they all make 10.
Right, we were looking for that word together, right? We see the words actually all together, right? If we're looking for something all together, then that's telling our brain, you got to put them together. So let's see here. Zayden thinks that we are going to have 7 books plus 3 more books to get 10 books. Oh, it won't let me move this. How do I get this to come off? Give me a second here. Let me see if I can figure this out. Nope, still won't let me move it. I don't know how to make it so that I can move it. It's like tricky. And I still can't move it. Okay. I think if I were to slide that over, it would say 7 plus 3 equals 10. You're correct, Zayden. All right, let's go to the next one. We'll just move on from this. All right. Our next bell ringer. Here we go. Ding, 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 ding. Ooh, lots of words with this one. Bryce's family is at the library. Bryce places some books in his bag. His older brother places 2 books in his bag. Together, they have 10 books. How many books does Bryce have in his bag? This one's a little bit more tricky. Bryce's family is at the library. Bryce places some books in his bag. His older brother places 2 books in his bag. Together they have 10 books. How many books does Bryce have in his bag? Let's see if... Oh, Logan's not in here. Let's see if... Nope, Derek's not in here. But maybe... Gwen is in here. Gwen, you want to give it a try?
Bryce put 8 books in his bag.
How do you figure that Bryce put 8 books in his bag? What did you do?
Because they said that Papa's little brother put 2 books in the bag, and they said they had 10 altogether. One of the ways you can get to 10 of adding 8 and 2, so I thought that 8 plus 2 would be the answer.
Right, so you were kind of looking for for this mystery number, right? And then you remember that if you make a combination of 10, if you're looking for a combination of 10, you could put 8 and 2 together to make 10, or 2 and 8 together to make 10, either way. So the mystery number must be 8. And I know that if I slid this over, it would be 8. I just can't slide it over once I use the pen. Haven't figured that part out yet. I'll figure that out someday. All right, last bell ringer, I believe. I think there's only 3 bell ringers today. Here we go. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, Faustina has some library books to return. Monica has 4 library books to return. Together, they need to return 10 books. How many books does Faustina have? Okay, so Faustina has some library books to return. Monica has 4 library books to return. Together, they need to return 10 books. How many books does Faustina have? Let's see if this person, Levi.
She had 6.
How did you figure 6?
Because 4 plus 6 equals 10.
But how did you know 4 plus 6 equals 10? What information did you find out from the number story first?
I started at 4 and then counted up 6.
But how did you know to count up 6?
I did not know.
Because there isn't a 6 in here, though, is there, right?
No.
But you know that there are 4. Monica has 4 of them. And what else do we know from this number story? We also know that they have to return how many books together?
10.
10. So that would be how many they would have all together. And then you look for this mystery number, right?
Yeah.
So then you knew that if you started at 4 and counted up 6 more, you could get to 10. Or maybe like Gwen was thinking, she remembered that if you make a 10s factor, a combination of 10, you can start with 4 and add 6 more, or start with 6 and add 4 more to get 10. Okay? And I know that if I were to slide this over, it would say 6. So ding, 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 good job. Okay. Now, for our math message today, we're going to kind of work on this together, how we can come up with a number story for subtraction. Okay? Now, remember, number stories are just a fancy way of saying word problems. Let me click on this arrow. I think this is done, and it takes us to the next one down here. Yeah. Number stories are just fancy ways of saying math problems, or I'm sorry, word problems. So basically, number stories are words and numbers put together in a couple of sentences, just like we just had for our bell ringers. We just had some examples of some number stories. Now, we practiced making addition number stories a couple of lessons back. I think it was towards the beginning of lesson or unit 2, may have even been in unit 1. But so today we're going to use number models, which is the math problem, to create number stories talking about subtraction. Now, usually when we're adding, we're talking about putting things together, right? You have 6 books in one bag, 4 books in the other bag. How many do they have all together? When we're talking about subtracting, what are we going to do? Are we going to put them together? Angelina, you're shaking your head no. Why not?
Because
What does subtraction usually mean? If we subtract something, what are we kind of doing?
taking it away.
Yeah, we're taking it away, right? And a lot of times, too, we'll say something like, I am starting at 6 and taking away 2, or whatever the number is, right? It doesn't really mean that I'm going and picking it up and taking it away. So, what does that mean? When I say take away in subtraction, it doesn't mean I'm carrying it somewhere. What does it mean that I'm doing? Now, we've just started subtraction with our spring math. What do we do in subtraction and spring math? In addition, we would count up or count forward. What are we doing in subtraction? How are we counting, Jamie? Counting backwards, right. So it's just another way, really, of saying counting back, okay? So let's see if we can come up with a number story that matches this number sentence or this number model. 10 minus 3 equals 7. Who thinks they can start us out? What kind of thing can we start out with 10 of? Anybody want to give it a try? What do you think, Zayden?
10 of 10 coins.
Okay. Who has 10 coins? Just give me a random name. Want me to say Zayden? Does that sound good? Okay, so Zayden has, Zayden's like, sure, I don't care. 10 coins. Okay. Where did I get that information from? Right here, right? The very beginning of my number model. That's how I came up with 10. Now, I made up the words part because when we make number stories, you get to make up your own words that go along with the number. So we just made up the Zayden having 10 coins part. But the number itself comes right here from the problem. Now, what can I say happens next in our story? We have 10 minus 3 equals 7. What do you think could happen next in our story, Jose?
You gotta take away 3.
Okay, so how could Zayden take away 3? What would be a way that 3 of those coins would go away? Would you like me to call on Zayden, see if he knows? Okay, Zayden, what do you think? What could happen?
I can give 3 pennies to the other people.
You could give 3 away, right? What else could happen? How else could we maybe get rid of some coins? What do you think, Jose?
He can use them for something else.
He-
To put in to
What if maybe he used them to buy something?
play cards.
Yeah, maybe he used it to buy something. Okay, so he could give them away. He could use, since they're coins, he could use them to buy something. Then 3 of those coins would disappear. How else could he maybe get rid of those 3 coins, Angelina?
He could put those 3 pennies off to the side in his piggy bank, and
He could put 3 coins in his piggy bank. Yeah, so he could put them away somewhere. That's an idea. What else, Gwen? What could happen?
some could fall off the desk.
Some could fall, and what usually happens if they fall?
You lose them.
They might get lost. Do you have another idea, Rosemary? What do you think?
He was buying a pencil and it costed 3 coins.
Yeah, so he could use it to buy something. So any of those things happen. He could lose the money. He could use the money to buy something. He could give the money away to a friend. He could save the money in a safe place like a piggy bank. Doesn't matter either way, as long as whatever sentence you're choosing next shows that he is going to get rid of some somehow. Okay, we don't want to say he's getting more because we're subtracting it, right? So we're not adding more or getting more. We are taking some away. So Zayden, what do you want to say happened? Do you want to lose some? Do you want to give some away? Do you want to buy something with them?
I want to buy something with them.
Okay, what are you going to buy? Like a pack of gum or something?
That's what I
A pencil?
A pack of gum.
Okay, so Zayden has 10 coins. He used 3 coins, whoops, C-O-I-N-S, to buy some gum.
I like gum now.
Now, how many coins does Zayden have? He has 10 coins. He used 3 coins to buy some gum. According to our number model, which is this fancy words for math problem right here, how many coins does he have left, Jose?
7.
Right. Now he has 7 coins left. Now, you might be picturing pennies in your head. You might be picturing dimes in your head, quarters in your head. Doesn't really matter what coins you're picturing. As long as we're talking about how he had some of them, 10 of them, he gave some away or got rid of some somehow. He used 3 to buy some gum, and now he has only 7 left. This number story shows what we can see here in our number model, or our fancy word of math problem, okay? All right, now, let's talk about how we can use dominoes. I lost my train of thought, couldn't think of the word. Dominoes to show subtraction. Now, we've practiced dominoes for addition. Now we're going to talk about how we can use dominoes for subtraction. So you will need to get out your math journal, and you'll need to turn to page 47, page 47. Let me see if I can find it on here.
That's a lot of pants. That's a lot. Also, we can put the plus and then put it inside it.
Gwen. Okay, no worries. When you're going to put it in later, you can put something heavy on top of it. Page 47, 47. Now, before we get started in it, just put your pencil inside of that page and close that book so you're ready to go. We're not going to get started on it just yet, because I want to show you how we can use dominoes for addition and subtraction facts. So, Logan, go ahead and put your pencil inside the book and close the book for a quick second. You need to be on page 47. You're not even on the right page. 47. 47. That's not the right page, Logan. 47. 47. Okay? Now, so this is an example of how we could use a domino. Now, we have used the dominoes for addition facts. We start with one set of dots. We actually call the dots, by the way. A little fun fact. The dots that are on a domino are called pips. P-I-P-S. Pips. So if somebody says count the pips on the domino, they're talking about the dots. Just a little fun fact, okay? So we can count the 4 dots on one side of the domino and add it to the 2 dots on the other side of the domino to get the problem 4 plus 2 equals 6. And then we learned already in addition that you can turn that fact around. Remember, we can do a turnaround fact and start with 2 and add 4 and still get 6. Put your pencil inside your book. Close your book, please. Those of you that have already done it, fantastic. Those of you that haven't yet, do it now, please. Pencil inside your book. Close your book. Logan, let's go. Pencil inside your book and close your book, please. Thank you. Okay. Now, we can also use, Levi, pencil inside your book and close your book. Thank you. We can also use these same numbers for subtraction, but what we have to remember with subtraction is we cannot take a small number from, we cannot take a big number from a small number. So when we use dominoes for fact families to make sure we have adding problems and subtracting problems, we actually have to start with the total number of domino dots first. So we knew that we had 4 plus 2 equals 6 and 2 plus 4 equals 6. We know that there are 6 dots on this domino altogether. So now we can use that same number to start our subtraction problem. There are 6 dots altogether on this domino. I can take away 2, and there would be 4 left. Or there are 6 dots altogether on this domino. I can take away 4, and there are 2 left. Did I even have to really think about where those numbers come from? Not really, no. Because the domino gives me all of those numbers, okay? The domino gives them right there to us. The dots, those pips that are on the domino, tell us what the numbers are. So now let's look at page 47. That was the example in the front. Okay, it's right here. Now on page 47, thank you, Jake. Mrs. Sable is here with the cart. Let's see if we can figure out what our fact family or what the addition and subtraction problems could be using the domino for number 2. Okay, so I think the adding part is the easiest part. So let's see if we can start out. Let me get my colors here. What can we use as one of our examples for one of our adding problems for number 2? Using the pips or the dots that we have on number 2. Open your book up to page 47. Open your book up to page 47. What can we do What is one of the adding problems or addition problems that we can have for number 2? Zayden, do you want to give me one to start out?
Yeah. 6 plus 4.
6 plus 4. Now, Zayden didn't have to come up with those random numbers. He could see that there were 6 dots on the top of the domino. Kaden, we're writing this down, dude. Plus 4 dots on the second part of the domino to figure out what the 2 numbers are that we're adding together. And 6 plus 4 then, Zayden, is what?
It is 12.
Try
I
again.
mean, it's 9.
Try again. Start at 6 and count out 4 more.
10.
10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6 plus 4 is a combination of 10. Now, the turnaround fact is super easy for this. Derek, what would the turnaround fact be for this? 4 plus 6 equals 10. Very good. So the turnaround fact would be easy. Did I even have to think about that? No. Right here I have 4, and then I have 6. So I have 6 and 4, and then 4 and 6. I'm just turning it around. Now, however, to do my subtraction, I have to start with the biggest number that I have. You good there, Jake? Okay. What is the biggest number that I have out of all of these problems? I have 6, 4, and 10. What is the largest number? Tim?
6.
Out of 6, 4, and 10? 6 is not the largest. So which one is larger, 4 or 10? 10. I have to start with my 10. Why do I have to start with 10? JD? Because it's the biggest number and because you cannot take something big from something small, right? So say I started with 6 and I wanted to take 10 away. Could I take 10 away from 6? No. I could take 4,
Yeah.
but I couldn't take 10. What if I had thought to start with 4? Can I take 6 away from 4? No, I don't even have 6 to take. I only have 4 fingers up. Could I take 10 away from 4? No. I don't have 10 fingers up, right? I have 4. So when I start my subtraction problem, I must start with the largest number first, which would be 10. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 10 right here in both of those boxes because both of those problems have to start with a 10. They have to because you have to start with the biggest number first. Levi, do you have a question?
Do we have to use 6 to minus from one tens and 4 from the other?
I'm going to show you that part next, okay? So now I have to start with my large number 10. Now I can use the rest of my domino to give me my answer. I have 10. I'm going to take away 6 from the top, and I'm going to have 4 left over. Or I have 10 altogether. I'm going to take away 4 from the bottom, and I'm going to have 6 left over.
Oh, baby.
Did I have to think about where those numbers came from? No. The only thing that I had to do is I had to make sure that I got my total at the very beginning, my adding problems first, so that I knew what my biggest number was going to be for my subtraction problems, right? That's really the only thing that I had to do. Super-duper easy. Let's try number 3. Let me scroll up a little bit. There we go. All right, number 3. Let's look to see what we have. Take a quick second to count the pips or the dots on your domino. If you can't see it up here on the board, you have the same thing at number 3 in your book. And let's see if we can come up with one of the adding problems that would go along with our domino for number 3. Levi, do you want to give us one of the adding problems?
Yeah. 5 plus 7.
Okay, very good. 5 plus 7. And what does 5 plus 7 equal there?
15.
No. You can try again. Start at 5 and count 7 or start at 7 and count 5. Either one works for me.
12.
12. Next time I don't want you to count each one of the dots. I want you to start at one of the numbers and count on. 5 plus 7 equals 12. So then, Kaden, what would the turnaround fact be for that?
7 7 plus 5.
7 plus 5 equals 12. Did I have to guess at those numbers? Nope, they're all right here. My domino gives me everything except for the total. I did have to figure the total out, the answer out, right? But everything else, they gave me the numbers for. Now, do I know what my biggest number is now to be able to start my subtraction? Yes. What would my biggest number be, Alina?
12.
12. Derek, where did I get that 12 from? Where do I have 12 here? Right, it's in the answer to my adding problem, right? So that's how I knew what my biggest number was going to be. So I'm going to start my subtraction problems with 12. Now, I can do it 2 ways. I'm going to do it this way first. I'm going to start with 12, and I'm going to take away the 5 dots that are here at the top of the domino, right? And I'm going to have, oh, look at that, 7 dots left over. Did I have to think about that? No. It's right there on my domino. It told me. The only thing I had to know is that I had to start with that 12. And then I'm going to start with the 12 again. And this time I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to start by taking away 7. And then I know that I'm going to have 5 left over. And now we have made a fact family for that domino, okay? We call these fact families. They're like 2 adding problems and 2 subtracting problems that go along with the numbers, okay? This time we're using dominoes as our example. Yes, Gwen?
It's kind of like, it's basically like a turnaround fact for subtraction.
It is. It is like a turnaround fact for subtraction, except when we do subtraction, we can't use the same, just flipping everything over. We have to start with the big number first. Yeah, but you're right. It is a turnaround fact for subtraction. All right. So what I would like you to do right now is you are going to do numbers 4, 5, and 6. See if you can come up with the 2 addition problems and 2 subtraction problems for those 3 dominoes. When you have that done, put your pencil inside your book and close your book, and I'll come around and check it, okay? You're doing 4, 5, and 6. Yes, Gwen?
I was just making sure that was 4, 5,
Yeah.
6.
Right now, on your own, do 4, 5, and 6. Come up with the 2 adding problems and 2 subtracting problems that could go along with that domino. Logan?
Why is our 4 different than your 4?
Oh, I don't know. Do the 4 that you have in your book. You're right, Logan, it is different, and I don't know why it's different, so do the 4 that you have in your book, not the 4 that I have up on my board. I don't know why it's different. See, sometimes the books aren't the same. That's why I don't even know if the page numbers line up all the time. But that's a good question. Maybe it was a typo on the program. I don't know. When you have 4, 5, and 6 done, just simply put your pencil inside your book, or if you're at home, hold it up for me to see, and I will come around and I will check it. This is lesson 3, 2, and today is 11, 17. Let me check to see if there's anybody. Nope, nobody in the book here. Come on, you have a question? You're going to do 4, 5, and 6. Make sure you're putting the answers down for these 2, just like I have up on the board. I have the answers to the problem. Okay, but make sure you put the answers down on these, though. Okay? This is like having the equal sign right here. So you should have 6 plus 4 equals 10. 4 plus 6 equals 10. Because you have to have that number to know where to start for the next one. Okay? So make sure you're putting all of the numbers as part of your problem. But yes, you're going to do 4, 5, and 6. Now, you can use the dots on the domino to help you. You can start at one dot and count one side of dots and count on to get to the answer for the other side. Or vice versa. Start at the bottom, count up to the top, or start at the top and count to the bottom. And you shouldn't have to necessarily use your number line because everything you need is right here on these dominoes. So you don't even need to use a number line. All the numbers that you need are right here at the dominoes. Just count the dots, the pips. Pips is what they're called. Vanessa, did you have your hand up for a question? Okay, show me your work then when you're done, sweetie. Hold it up to the screen for me. Oh, it's a little too close. Okay, thank you. Give number 7 a try, Vanessa. I'm going to have everybody else give number 7 a try too when they're done. All right, let me come around and see who has their booklet here. Okay, looks good. Why don't you go ahead and give number 7 a try. Number 7's a little tricky. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Give it a try.
Whoa. Whoa. I know.
Double check how many do we have here. Oh, see, I thought, to me that looked like a 6. Yeah. Make it look like a 1. Lisa, thank you. And then you're good, and then try number 7. Okay?
Okay.
Logan, do you have a question?
Can we do A?
No, not yet, and I only want you to do 4, 5, and 6 right now. So when you have 4, 5, and 6 done, then you can put your pencil in your book, and then I'll tell you, go ahead and go on to do number 7.
This is easy.
It is easy.
Yeah, that's easy peasy.
Thanks, Rosemary. Go ahead and give 7 a try if you haven't already. Did you already give 7 a try? Okay, thank you. I thought I saw it in there.
Hold on, this one too. We do have to do number 8. Okay, that's easy for me.
Okay, looks good.
So I can do number 8.
You could do number 8 and put your own dots on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's up to you if you wanted to do that. Drawing some of your own dots if you want to get creative. Kinsley, as soon as you have 100, just hold it up. Thank
You have
you.
to do 9 for 9 and 6. We've got 8 and 6.
All right, let's see what we have here.
9 and 6 equal.
Good. Oh, check this one out. Because remember with subtraction,
15.
you have to start with your big number.
What?
Okay.
6, 9, 0.
Okay, go ahead and do number 7. And then put some dots in for number 8.
0. Good.
Derek, are you ready to be checked? Don't forget to put the answers, though. We need to have the answers. Okay, just like I had up here, I put the answers underneath. Because you have to have all those numbers for the fact family. Not just with the numbers that you're adding or subtracting, you have to have the answers with it too. So make sure you're putting in all your answers also, please. Okay, keep going with that so you can have the answers in.
That's not right.
Okay, looks
Yeah,
good.
try this one. 7. You give me one.
Can you make your 3 look like my 3? Which is right here. Okay? Make sure your 3 going in the right direction. Just in this box right here. Make sure your 3 goes in the right direction. Alright? And then I want you to double check these numbers right here. It's gonna change. Because if you have 9 and you add 5, I don't think you're gonna get 13. Okay, well, why are these zeros? We're not doing 6 minus 6. See what we did up here with these? We had 6 plus 4 equals 10. 4 plus 6 equals 10. So then to do our subtraction, we had to take that big number 10 and put it in our top boxes. Okay? And then we use all the same numbers. Same with this one. 5 plus 7 equals 12. 7 plus 5 equals 12. Here's my big number 12 that I can put up here in my two boxes. Okay? So it's not 8 plus 8 either, so double check. You might have 8 up here, but you don't have 8 down there. This is the number of dots you have on the top. How many dots do you have on the bottom? You don't have 14 dots on the bottom. How many dots do you have on this part of the dot? Right here? 6. So then if you had 8 and you added 6, then you would have 14. Okay? And then you're going to do the turnaround effect. You're going to have 6, and then you're going to add 8. Okay, it's like taking that domino and flipping it over. So now you have to take your big number, 14, and start both of your subtraction problems with that answer. And then take away the other numbers. Okay, so fix all these 3, and I'll come back and check, okay? Good, thank you. Jimmy, what are you doing in your locker, buddy? Do you need to sharpen your pencil? Just use that pencil sharpener real quick. Okay.
Should I try,
Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to close your book. Try number 7. Okay, so we have how many dots here? And how many dots here? Okay, but how many dots do we have here? So, you said it's 14, then why do we have 10? Okay, but it's not 10. You have 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 8 plus 6 is 14, right? But it's not 14 there, because this is how many dots you have here. This is how many dots you have here. Okay, so it's 8 and 6 equal 14 altogether. So that's the first part. Okay? Change that to a 14. Make it look like a 4. There we go. Okay. Now, you're going to take those same 2 things. It's like taking this domino and just turning it around so that the 6 would be on the top and the 8 would be on the bottom, just like you have. But the number of the answer stays the same. So if 8 and 6 are 14, then 6 and 8 are also going to be 14. Put 14 here. Now you have your big number that you can start with your subtraction problems. So both of these problems are going to start with 14. Have to start them both with 14. Okay. Now you can have 14 and take away 8 to get 6. And then this would be an 8 because you started with 14. You took away 8 to get 6. Okay. To get 6. You start with 14 altogether. You take 8 away, and then you have 6 dots left over. Or you can start with 14 dots altogether. Right here, 14 dots altogether. You can take 6 dots away. So 6 dots will go away. Put the 6 here. So if you have 14 altogether and you took these 6 away, you still have 8 dots left over. Right? Just like taking the dominoes, the numbers are already given to you. You just are using them in reverse. Okay. So let's try this one. How many dots do you have on the top? 3. So that should be 3 right there. Worry about the 3 right here first. Now, how many dots do you have on the bottom? 8. You got the 8. Now, if you have 8 and 3 more, how many is that? Try again. So this would be 11. The answer is 11. Make it look like an 11. Okay, so now let's do that in reverse. Let's start with the 8 dots that are at the top with, let's add the 3 dots that are here. So this should be a 3. Okay, make your 3 look like my 3. Has to go in the right direction. Yeah, we don't want to make it backwards. Okay, so if 3 plus 8 is 11, then 8 plus 3 must be. It's going to be the same number. Yeah, so this is 11. No. Keep your 8. There we go. Right. 3 plus 8 is 11. Now you have your big number that you start both of these subtraction problems. You're going to start with 11 here, and you're going to start with 11 there. There you go. Good. Now, we have 11 altogether. If I take away 3, then how many do I have left? 8. Okay. And then if we have 11 altogether, if I take away 8, yes. Good. Now try doing with the 8 there. Did you take away 8 this time? There you go. And then 3 would be left. Now try doing this one. Okay? Okay. Coming around. I know there's a few that I still need to check. Lift your hand up, please. Okay. We need to start with our biggest number for subtraction. There is no way that there are 22 dots here. You have 8 dots and you have 6 dots. There's no way that that makes 22. It's the same thing for here. You have 6 dots and you have 8 dots. No way it makes 22. Need to fix that. Hey, Kinsley, do you have your paper done, hon? Sorry, I didn't have a chance to look at it earlier. Can you hold it up for me so I can see it? Thanks, Kinsley. Fantastic. Okay. If you're still working on this, keep it out. I'll come check it in just a second. I'm going to show you what, I'm going to check it in just a second, but I do want to move on and show you what your homework is going to be for tonight. Okay? So tonight's homework is very similar to this. Let me move along here for a little bit. It is very easy. Oops, that's not it. There we go. Okay. So tonight's homework is this. You are going to have, let me scroll up a little bit. Remember, it tells you at the top, this is what we did today in class. We used these dominoes to make fact families. Hayden, stop coloring on the paper and look up here. It's time for you to pay attention now. So they're going to give you some dominoes. It doesn't matter if the domino is going up and down or if the domino is going sideways. It doesn't matter either way. You can still use the numbers that they give you on the domino to come up with your 2 adding problems. 3 plus 7 equals 10. 7 plus 3 equals 10. And then remember that once you get your answer to your 2 adding problems, you already have the number that you need to start with your subtraction problem. You have 10 altogether. If you take away 7, you're going to have 3. Or you have 10 altogether. If you take away 3, you're going to have 7. Okay? So they give you 1, 2, 3 of these to do on your own. And then down at the bottom, there's a little bit of some making combinations of 10 and some 10 plus 1 and 10 plus 2 type of problems. Okay? Or doubles 1 and doubles 2 problems. So any questions on what you're going to do for tonight's homework? Alina.
What page is it?
It will be HomeLink 3, 2. I don't know what page it is, though. I can look in my HomeLink book. Let me see. It is in my HomeLink book, which I think is going to be like yours. It is page number 45. Okay? Page number 45. Now, one thing I need you to do today before tomorrow's lesson is this. Now, if you're still working on this page, I don't want you to do this yet. You will have time to do it, though. And so if I haven't checked yours, just sit tight. But friends at home, one thing I need you to do, too, what we're all going to need to do is we actually need to flip to the back of our math book.
Wait, all of us?
Yep, flip to the back of your math book. We need to do this today so that we're ready with it for tomorrow's lesson. And you will see in the back of your math book there are some activity sheets. It says activity sheet 1, activity sheet 2, activity sheet 3, activity sheet 4, activity sheet 5, activity sheet, oh, that's it, 5. Okay, whew. So activity sheets 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We are going to cut out these fact triangles. We will use them tomorrow for our lessons. You will notice that there are dotted blue lines around these shapes to make them look like triangles. Okay? Logan, go. Now. Now. And so you are going to use your scissors to cut on the dotted blue lines. Okay? So you will have on each page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different triangles that you're going to cut out from each page. Altogether, you're going to end up having like 45 triangles. When you are done here in the classroom, as you're cutting them out, I want you to either put your name or your number on the back of the triangle. We're going to store them in a baggie inside our toolkits. Okay? So you'll need scissors to do that. And so you can get started now. If I've already checked your paper and told you to go on to number 7, then you may start cutting out your activity sheets. If I haven't checked yours yet and told you to go on to number 7, then I will come check you in just a second. But you're going to start cutting out these activity sheet triangles. Friends at home, do you know what you're cutting out? Yes, no, maybe so? Rosemary, are you good? Okay. Kinsley, do you have a question, sweetie?
Is it any of the sheets?
You need to cut out all 5 of them. So there's going to be a lot of triangles. And I would suggest putting them like in a baggie or something so that you have them for tomorrow's lesson because we will use them from time to time in our math lessons, okay? Okay, any other questions?
Yes.
All right, friends at home, I'm going to let you go. I'll see you later this afternoon. Remember to do some extra math today, please. Bye-bye. All right, Jake, what is your question?
Can I go back?